The Detroit Lions have averaged over 43 points a game in their last 4 games. They are clearly the best offense in the NFL right now. They have the Packers coming to town this week. Do you think the Packers have a chance?
It's going to be tough, especially if Jordan Love is on the fence as far as injury concerned. I watched Jordan Love last week, and he doesn't look the same. From his knee injury to his groin injury, he's hobbling quite a bit, and he can't be hobbling against Detroit. Malik Willis is a good backup quarterback, but they're going to have to put up some serious numbers to beat Detroit, or they're going to have a bunch of 12, 13 play drives for 80 yards and eat up about 9 minutes of time, because once Detroit gets their hand on the ball, and it's not just their offense, it's their special teams.
Before we continue with the video, I have to ask one favor. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and turn on those notifications. If you like this type of content, if you like hearing us talk football, hit that notification button. So every time we drop a video, it is coming straight to you.
I just love the way Detroit's playing, because they can hurt you a lot of different ways. You think of Jared Goff and the cool little plays that Jahmyr Gibbs, but they're a ground and pound team. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs will hurt you bad in the running game. And then that's where Jared Goff thrives, off the play pass, the boots. He is really good when he can set his feet outside the pocket, seeing things top to down, making accurate throws. Defensively, Luden Hutchinson obviously is the biggest concern. They might be to trade talks with somebody else. But overall, I just think the Lions right now, the mentality they have with Dan Campbell, the toughness that they play with, the finesse and the speed that they have, I think is a great match for anybody that they play. And I think it's going to be a tough day for Green Bay.
Colt, you've seen Jared Goff win it throwing it 35 times, and you've seen him win it throwing it, 12 to 15 times like he did last week, and they're still putting up 40 to 50 points a game. What have you seen from Jared Goff and his evolution over the years? Most importantly, what he's done this year.
Yeah, leading the league in points per game. Jared Goff only threw it 15 times last week, and they scored 52 points. That's outrageous, right? Outside of the Tampa Bay game where he threw it 55 times, they were a little bit out of sorts. They weren't running the ball very well, made him one-dimensional. All the other games, we look at all the games outside of Tampa Bay, Jared Goff's average attempts, 22. Right? They're leading the league in points per game. He's averaging 22 throws a game. This is crazy. Ben Johnson is awesome. He gives them so many pre-snap tells, like answers to the test before you get the ball in your hands. And they got weapons around. They throw screens. He throws check downs. He pushes the ball down the field. He made some ridiculous throws a couple weeks ago. And so for me, I'm with Jay. Detroit's offense is hard to stop. And they didn't really have to play last week, and they scored 52 points. This offense is executing at a high level. It all starts with Jared Goff. He's one of the most efficient guys over the last several years, and this year he's taken another step. It's fun to watch.
Hey, Colt, I'll tell you this about Goff, too. I think this is the only time I can honestly say I could have got off my bar seat or my couch, gone into a football game, and thrown 3 touchdown passes for the Lions. Did you see how easy those were?
Yes.
All of them within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. All of them walk-in touchdowns with nobody around them. That's great play design by Ben Johnson. He seems to always and they also ran a halfback pass, too, for an easy touchdown to Laporta.
We got to ask everyone watching at home right now, do you think that Gruden can actually go in there and complete those passes? Because I'm thinking he's going to at least miss one of those.
Hell no. I was the 4th best all-time greatest quarterback in Arena Football League history, Justin. Take
Gruden, right now?
Okay, maybe right now. I'd have to find some pants that fit. But if I did that, I'd go out there and do it. How about Tennessee's defense? Like Amon-Ra St. Brown's blocking on the edge, and the guy's like, oh, I guess he's a tackle now. I think I'll just run in here, and, oh, that's my guy. Touchdown. I mean, there's some stupidity going on in the NFL. That was one of the stupider plays I've ever seen. If you got Amon-Ra Brown, St. Brown, man-to-man, stay on him. Don't rush the quarterback.
I'm glad you brought up Tennessee's defense because, Justin, you've played against Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is a dog, right? They got Tavondre Sweat. Talk about their offensive line and what you saw from Detroit's offensive line, not only this past game, but all season long. They've been phenomenal, and Ben has rewarded them with some creative stuff. Just talk a little bit about Detroit's offensive line.
Yeah, so first I want to go back to this Detroit-Tennessee game. It almost felt like the Lions were sleepwalking in the beginning of that game. I know they put up 52 points. First play of the game, there's a sack. Detroit Lions offensive line. The next drive, there's 2 sacks. And all of a sudden, the Tennessee Titans actually had this game tied up 14-14. It was these massive plays, these explosive plays, the kick returns, the punt returns. Jay, you know what you can do? You could turn around and hand it off to Jahmyr Gibbs, and every time he touches the ball, he is taking it to the house. So I think the Lions woke up. They woke the sleeping beast. The offensive line came to fruition, and they started getting after it. Because AQ, you are 100% spot on. You're starting with Decker. You go to Frank Ragnow, who you've put out a clip saying, we think he's one of the best centers, if not the best in the NFL. You go get Kevin Zeitler from the Baltimore Ravens, just a complete veteran, and Penei Sewell, who is an emerging star at right tackle. And these guys are doing everything right. They pass protect. They run duo. They run the zone scheme, and then they get out in space and they throw phase to Decker in the end zone. They throw hook and ladders to Penei Sewell. So Ben Johnson and that team, they are making a mockery of the NFL. They threw a pitch play to David Montgomery, who throws a touch pass better than Anthony Richardson to the back of the end zone to Laporta. And the Detroit Lions are out here just laughing on the sidelines. They're throwing to Khalif Raymond, and it really starts up front with that, with Dan Campbell, his mentality, that offensive line. It's almost like they carry out his marching orders, and they're like, we're going to go impose his will. We're giving the ball to David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, force you to stop it. And then once you can't, we're going to embarrass you.
So how do you game plan against these guys, right? Like, Jay, that's the biggest question I think people are going to wonder is Todd Bowles put out a blueprint, obviously, to how to slow them down. He didn't stop them. They won the game.
He stopped the run.
You got to hit him in the mouth, and then you got to somehow get a way to get Jared Goff off his spot. If Jared Goff throws on rhythm and on time, he's tough, man. But if you get him off his spot, try to disguise some intent in your coverages, you can have some success. He will turn the ball over if you can just make a move, make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
You know who I would want to see? I would want to sit in the room with Steve Spagnuolo and the Kansas City Chiefs and see how they would prepare for him. I think that if right now we had to pick a Super Bowl contender, I'm not going with the Browns. I didn't pick the Browns to win the Super Bowl. I would say the Chiefs and the Lions are probably the two teams most people are talking about. And Steve Spagnuolo is a guy that would be up for the task of how to handle that Detroit Lions offensive line and offense.
If his corners and defensive linemen and Chris Jones are coming with them, I agree.
I think they would be, Jay.
Spags. He's pretty good.
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite players' stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today. All right, so big game this weekend. Justin, who do you have between Green Bay and Detroit?
I have the Detroit Lions. And now I said to Jay, he's been talking all about Jordan Love, and it does come down to Jordan Love. If Jordan Love's healthy, he can go out there and be himself, gives the Green Bay Packers a great chance. But even without them, we saw the Packers rely on Josh Jacobs, rely on that offensive line in Green Bay, which is, I don't want to say an underrated group anymore because they have shown up. They're playing great. And the Green Bay defense has been playing much improved this season. They don't have enough. Without Jordan Love 100%, Detroit Lions take this one.
I was impressed with Malik Willis the way he came in. We talk about him. We laugh about how these plays are drawn up in the dirt and all that stuff. But he's executing. He was 4 for 5 and threw a touchdown pass. Helped them come back and win against Jacksonville, who's playing a very spirited football game because they won last week. They're trying to get back on a roll. So it was a big game for them, a big confidence booster for him. So he's had 3 games now, and he's performed pretty well. The thing about Green Bay, when he does play, the running game is pretty good. He adds an element to the running game, which helps control the football. If he doesn't turn the ball over, they maintain possession, convert some third downs. Tucker Kraft is starting to emerge as one of the top tight ends in the league. Romeo Dubes has come back and done some good things. So I give the Packers a chance. I do if they can not turn the ball over and maintain the football and keep Detroit's offense over there on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid, then yeah, they have a chance. But if they don't convert third downs and the Lions get multiple possessions and cracks at it, it is a wrap.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I'm taking the Lions. I mean, they're a complete football team. Jared Goff's playing at a really high level. They're executing on offense. They're stopping people on defense, and their special teams have been one of the best units in the league. And so when you combine all those things, I do think the Packers are going to give a fight. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think they're going to really try to give everything they can to stop the run and make Goff beat them throwing the football. That's what Tampa Bay did in Detroit's only loss. So I think it's a close one, but just we're talking about complete teams. Jordan Love's not healthy. He obviously gives them the best chance to win. I'm taking the Lions all day.
Same. I got the Lions as well. I mean, again, like they're getting to the point now where they're almost like the Chiefs, where it's like until they prove me wrong and somebody shows me that they can beat them, it's like they're just going to kind of keep winning until that happens. But Green Bay does have a good front. I do think Kenny Clark and the boys are going to have a nice little front up front for the Detroit offensive line.
The one thing you guys got to always be aware of and always pay attention to are these division rival games.
That's right.
Like last week, who thought Baltimore could lose to Cleveland? These guys come in there, they play their ass off in these division rival games, and it means a lot to each team. So usually they're a lot closer than people think.
Jay, I did predict the Browns were going to beat the Ravens just after seeing the Jameis speech, just saying.
Eventually, you're going to pick right with the Browns. If you keep picking them, they're going to win eventually. So congratulations, Justin. You're 1-9.
1-9.
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.
For me, I'm taking the higher pass attempts by Jared Goff against the Green Bay Packers. Look, I just think the Packers defense is really a strong unit. They're going to try to take away something. And if you're playing the Detroit Lions, let's take away the 1-2 punch of Montgomery and Gibbs. Let's make Jared Goff beat us with his arm, which he can. I'm not saying this is the best idea, but I'm saying Jared Goff only averaging like 22 to 23 throws a game. I think it's going to be more like 32 pass attempts. And so I'm taking the higher pass attempts by Jared Goff this week.
My pick, staying off the beaten path as well, we have kind of gone away from Montgomery. We're now, ever since he fumbled 2 games ago, it's like, all right, Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy. I'm going higher rushing yards for David Montgomery because I think it's going to be a between the tackles, pound the football type of game with the Detroit Lions giving the ball to David Montgomery a lot.
I like that pick. I like both those picks. I like all our picks.
80,000 Uncrustables consumed by NFL players just came out per year.
Our golf course now, they put in these 2 stations. Both of them have Uncrustables in them. After 4 holes, you go to that station. It's like, I kind of want something. Ooh, Uncrustable. Let's go.
You felt like an athlete. You're like, hey, eat this at halftime. I need one of these. What happened to orange peels?